Okay, welcome to the structural analysis 2 video lecture. This is lecture number 3 from unit 3, that is approximate method of analysis. So in this video, a topic on approximate method for horizontal forces using cantilever method will be explained. So coming to the main heading of this video, that is approximate method for analysis of horizontal forces. As discussed in the previous videos of approximate methods, so we have four important approximate methods for analysis. The first method is Portal method here, and cantilever method, and also factor method. So these three methods are exclusively used for horizontal forces, only for finding horizontal forces, that we have discussed already in the previous video. And apart from this, so to find vertical forces also, we have one more method, that is nothing but substitute frame method. That is recently discussed in the first video, and in the second video about portal method it was discussed. And now coming to third one, this is regarding the procedure that is adopted in cantilever method. Like in portal method, there are few assumptions for cantilever method, and also for factor method. The factor method will be explained in the next video. So coming to cantilever method, the following assumptions are made in this method. So the first assumption we have is there is a point of contraflexure at the center of each member. So this is somewhat similar to the portal method's assumption. That is, the first one is there is a point of contraflexure at the center of each member. So we have a point of contraflexure. Fine. And next one is the intensity of axial stress. So what is axial stress? This is the stress developed due to axial force, because in the word we have axial. So what is axial? Axial is nothing but which is in this direction along an axis, but majorly we can tell that this is along horizontal axis. So this is horizontal axis. So that axial stress in each column of a story. So if we have a frame like this, and drawing a small frame here. So if we have a frame like this, so here the intensity of axial stress. So if it is an axial stress, this intensity, that means due to this load there is a stress developed. So that intensity, that is sigma, we can tell stress under. So in each column of a story, in each column, so here we have one column, here we have one more column, yes, and here we have one more column, here we have one more column, so like that. So the stress, axial stress is for every column is proportional, is directly proportional, that is sigma is proportional to the horizontal distance of that column from center of gravity of all the columns of the story under consideration. Okay, so if we consider this story, so that axial stress is directly proportional to the horizontal distance, that means this distance. So suppose we have center of gravity at this place. For the whole story of building, we have center of gravity at this place, not at the center. So it is proportional to the distance of this center of gravity of all the columns under consideration. So regarding this, it will be explained clearly in the coming part of this video. And the most important aspect here in this cantilever method is that the analysis is carried out story by story. So in substitute frame method, a substitute frame was taken, and also in portal method every joint is considered, And here the analysis is made is carried out story by story. That means first we will be analyzing for topmost story, and next we go for bottommost. Like that we will analyze. So coming to this, look at this figure. So we have A1 area of cross section, A2, A3 and A4. So we have four areas of cross section. So the area of cross section of this length and also this length will be similar, as no there will be no change in the areas generally in columns. So y1, y2, y3 and y4, what are these are the distances from the respective columns right from the center of gravity. So this is the center of gravity. So this is the center of gravity line. Our second assumption, you can notice the second assumption. So this is centroidal vertical axis of the frame. This is centroidal vertical axis. So these are the horizontal forces P1 and P2. So due to this axial force, this P1 and P2 can be considered as axial force. So due to this axial force, there is an axial stress developed. So and we have, first we have to locate the centroidal vertical axis. So where is the center of gravity acting for this particular frame? So first we have to locate that. How this axis we have got is that using this formula to locate the vertical centroidal axis of the frame, that is y bar. That is y bar. A1 into D1 plus A2 into D2 plus A3 into D3 plus A4 into D4. This is a regular formula for locating centroid of any structural member. So what is the D1? That means this is D1 and this distance is D2 and this is D3 and this is D4. Only the distance between this column and this column is D4. The distance between these two columns is D4. Here it is not mentioned in the diagram, so I am not writing it. So this is D4. The same as this is D3, this is D2 and D1 is taken as 0 here. Because A1 is having, we are starting with A1, so distance D1 will be 0 as usual. So first we have to find the centroidal axis and locate y1, y2, y3 and y4 from the axis. Next, so if you consider this, V1, V2, V3 and V4 are the vertical forces of the columns respectively. Okay, and M by I is a constant given at height of the vertical cantilever. So we have this formula sigma x is equal to My by I from pure bending equation. From pure bending equation we have sigma by I sorry, this is M by I is equal to F is taken as sigma here, F or sigma, M by equal to F by equal to E by R. This is equal to, and we have E by R. So instead of F we can consider sigma also. So considering sigma as axial stress and keeping a sign, sigma x can be written by using these two. M by is equal to F by y, sigma x is equal to M by I. So from this we can find the axial stress. So this is well known to the students. This is already taught in the topic on strength of materials 1 in unit 3, I guess. So this is the most important topic. So here we can observe how important the basics of every subject is, right? So after that we can write them as sigma x, sigma 1 by y1 and sigma 2 by y2 and sigma 3 by y3 and sigma 4 by y4. So sigma can be written as v1 by a1. So what is v? Is a vertical force and area. Sigma is nothing but force by area. So capital V1 by a1 by y1. So what is this y1? This is the centroidal distance from the center of gravity for the column 1, that of cross section A1. generally. So this consideringly a1 1 1 and all ones and all twos, threes, fours must be written together like this, and this is equation 1. And next we have the same diagram to find horizontal forces. So that's for the same diagram we have sigma mb is equal to p1 into h by 2, that is equal to v1 m1 plus v1 v2 m2 minus v3 m3 minus v4 m4. So if you consider the left side is having downward forces and right side of the center of gravity line is having upward forces to make the structure in equilibrium. Fine. So according in the numerical problems you'll be coming to know what to be done for that particular uh, style. Fine. So this distance is given as h by 2, and here we have given as h by 2. So if you consider half of the portion, because at half there will be a change in bending moment as told in the first assumption. So we take summation of moments about b. Summation of these moments about this side b is taken as p1 into h by 2, p1 into h by 2 is equal to, so we can write it as anti-clockwise and clockwise in LHS and RHS, but here I have mentioned it like this. So p1 into h by 2 plus v3 m3 plus v4 m4 is equal to v1 m1 plus v2 m2 actually. But we can also write in this manner that as this is separate, p and h are separate terms and v m are the separate terms, so I am writing it like this. So these equations are also to be solved. So after that we know that p1 is equal to h1 plus h2 plus h3 plus h4. Already we have discussed in the first method in the previous video how this we can write directly. So after finding this and after finding this and 1, equation 1, 2 and this equation, by using these three equations and considering the moment equilibrium condition, by considering moment equilibrium condition about the center of beams, that means this one, moment equilibrium is about the center of the beam is this one, that is column. Okay, center of the beams, horizontal forces h1 h2 h3 and h4 can be found. So by calculating this we can find h1 h2 h and f4. Also by using the equation of statics, that is sigma x is equal to 0, y is equal to 0 and sigma z is equal to 0, and as this is only two planar structure, only we consider sigma x and sigma y is equal to 0 and summation of moments is equal to 0. So by using these three equations of statics we can also find the horizontal and vertical forces that are acting in a column member, beam member, especially h1 h2 h3 and h4 we are going to find by using this particular approximate analysis method. So I am clear, and if the students practice more number of numerical problems on this method, they will be understanding in a simple and convenient way. Thank you for watching this video. Yes, I'm signing off.